Hi everyone, my name is Audrey. I am allergic to guys. It's an uncomfortable truth that made me unable to lead a normal life. I also had to keep it a secret so people wouldn't think I was weird or something. If you don't know what it means to be popular in school, then you have no idea how to survive. And I'll tell you about that. For many years, I didn't know I had these allergies myself. My mother and I lived alone, and I spent most of my time at an all-girls school, where even the teachers were all women. I had an ex-girlfriend there who I used to hang out with. She was the only one who knew about my peculiarity. We were close. At that time, we were actively preparing for the competition, representing the school at the dance competition. I wasn't included in the team, but I worked as a makeup artist. I knew there was going to be a big crowd, so I took an antihistamine. Kelly noticed this. I wish you had a pill for bad luck. What bad luck? Yours, silly. Kelly pushed me into the dressing room and closed the door, and as soon as I turned around, I saw a dozen guys. It was the Riviera High boys team. Oh no, not that. The smells hit my nose and my throat began to swell. With each gulp of air, it became harder and harder to access. Apparently, my antihistamines weren't working. There were too many guys around. I grabbed my throat and fell to the ground. Help! I tried to say something, but I couldn't get it out. One of those guys grabbed me in his arms and ran out onto the open balcony, where, when the fresh, cool air hit my nose, it got a little easier to breathe. I looked around and saw that the guy was holding me in his arms and waiting for me to come to my senses. Then they gave me a shot, and I went straight to sleep. I woke up at home. The doctor was nearby. She handed me the drops and told me that they neutralize the smell of testosterone, which is produced in guys. There is one disadvantage. I won't be able to smell that hormone, but I won't be able to smell anything else either. Its effects were meant to last several hours, so I needed to keep them to myself. Despite everything, I was glad that at least some effective remedy had been found, because then our school was shut down. The principal was let out in handcuffs right in front of us. She was Kelly's mom. I wanted to support my ex-friend, but she pushed me away and screamed that it was all my fault. I haven't seen her or any of them since. My mom had to put me in a regular Riviera High School, and my drops were always on me. I decided not to tell anyone about my allergies and to try to start a new life. On the first day there, I went into the bathroom and came out a few minutes later. When I closed the door, I found that there was a sign that said, "Not working." It was strange because it wasn't there when I went in. As soon as I showed up in the cafeteria, guys started squinting and yelling that I smelled like shit. I didn't realize what was going on, and out of that crowd came Kelly. You? What are you doing here? I came here to study. Don't worry, Audrey, I'm not going to retaliate. Maybe just a little bit. I'm not guilty of anything. It's not my fault your mom got arrested. Shut up! I didn't ask you to say that. If you don't want trouble, just act invincible and you'll be fine. Oh, that's a familiar bag. I remember my mom gave it to you. Give it back. And by the way, you smell like shit. What were you doing in a toilet that doesn't work? It's full of clogs. You smell like a sewer. I looked around, frightened, and noticed that everyone was covering their noses with their hands. They immediately gave me the nickname Stinky. Stinky. Oh no, it was my first day and such shame. Then some guy came out of the crowd. His face looked familiar. He took me by the hand and led me outside. His touch made me feel uncomfortable because I'd hardly ever touched a boy, or it could end badly for me. He sat me down on the bench, and then he went off and came back with a vial in his hands. What? How did he know? Embarrassed, I took my pills, and he sat down next to me. Do you not remember me? No. We were in the same competition a year ago. Kelly shoved you in the dressing room with us at the time. That was you? You saved me back then. Yeah, you scared the hell out of me. How long have you been allergic to boys? How did you know? I get it. It's obvious. If you don't want to, you don't have to tell me. I understand. All right, I'm gonna go. Call me if you need me. Steve left, and I sputtered off and went to class to get my stuff. But Kelly was waiting for me on the doorstep. Before I could say a word, she shoved me and yelled that Steve was her boyfriend and that I shouldn't even dare look in his direction. She took one look at Jeffrey's classmate and he hugged me, and I started to blush. My heart was racing. Frantically, I searched for my vial. Is this what you're looking for? Give it to me. No, I want you to remember not to play with other people's things. So I'm a thing to you? What? Honey, don't be silly. Give me that. He snatched my drops out of her hand and gave them back to me. Then he pulled Jeffrey away and took me home. On the way there, he asked me, How well do you and Kelly know each other? We used to know each other well. Now we're sworn enemies. Did you steal her boyfriend? No, it's about her mother. What do you mean? Well, her mom and I had always been close, and Kelly got jealous at some point. Then one day, when I was sick, her mom came to my rescue and forgot to hide some papers at school. Then the board showed up at the wrong time, and she got arrested. And Kelly thinks it's your fault. Yeah. But it's not your fault that she was doing something that needed to be hidden. It's not, but Kelly thinks it is. You should stay away from her. Yeah, you're right. Here's my house. Thanks for the ride. Why don't we go out for coffee sometime? I wanted to say yes, but for some reason, I felt sick all over again. I shook my head in the negative and left. The next day, I went to visit Kelly's mom. We chatted, and I told her that her daughter and I had had an incident. The principal hugged me and told me not to pay attention to her. All of a sudden, I started panting. What is this? Why? The principal was looking at me, holding my face, and I was feeling worse. I grabbed my pocket, but there was no vial there. Is this what you're looking for? What? Why did you take it? Give it back. You thought if I was nice to you, you could put my daughter out? I have nothing left to lose. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here. The guards at the jail spotted me and they escorted me out of there, but she'd kept the vial. I began to swell, and other people's touches made it worse. No one could understand what was wrong with me. Then I heard my mother scream. She had time to give me an injection, and I felt better at once. When we were driving home in the car, my mother swore about why I'd gone there, why I'd gone to see the principal. I said that I was just sick of Kelly and I fighting. Mom abruptly swerved to the side of the road and said to me, Look, Audrey, I didn't want to tell you this, but you're not allergic to guys. What are you talking about? Kelly and her mother, they don't love you. They never loved you because their true faces are different. Kelly isn't your friend. She's your sister. What? What are you talking about? Kelly had a father. He left the family, divorced her mom, and then we met. Your father and I were happy until Kelly's mom found out. We ended up falling in love. Well, then Kelly was born, and you a few months later. Your and Kelly's father died in an accident, and to keep him alive, I went to his ex-wife for help. She really felt sorry for you and me, and helped us and then took you to her school. Our daughters grew up, and you became friends. But Kelly was aggressive. No one was friends with her, but they were all drawn to you. Because of jealousy, Kelly asked her mother to make her lose all her friends, and they indoctrinated you with allergies that don't exist in nature. And my treatment? The drops, they're just water. Why didn't you tell me this before? Because her mother blackmailed me, that she would take you away from me because I don't make enough money, and she could sue you. So this is just revenge. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I shouldn't have kept quiet. I'm a coward. I hugged my mother, and I was happy that I didn't really have allergies, that someone else's suggestion was working and I was falling for it. Then I asked my mom to take me back to school. Steve was sitting in class and he said hello to me, and I just sat down next to him. Steve was surprised. It's okay. What's the assignment? You didn't mess up anything, did you? This is my seat. It doesn't have your name on it, so get lost. What did you say? Kelly snatched my bag, and then Jeffrey came up behind me and hugged me. Come on, bitch, you don't have your pills. Your allergies to guys will kill you. The class started talking. What is she talking about? Allergies to guys? What kind of nonsense is that? I just smiled and said, Kelly, what is this nonsense? The only allergy I have is an allergy to dirt. Oh, I'm about to sneeze. Oh, and yes, I forgot to add that for some reason, the causative agent is you and your mother. How dare you! She pounced on me, but I managed to sidestep her and she fell right on top of Jeffrey, the harmless fat guy. Kelly's skirt pulled up and everyone could see her dirty legs from behind. Ooh! The guys yelled. Kelly got up off the floor and ran off, and Steve took my hand and said, Now, are you up for a coffee? Tell me, guys, did you like my story? Write your opinion about it in the comments below the video. Don't forget to like it, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.